Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science Channel. Today is January 6th, 2022. I'm getting rid of my the second of my two Swedish reports for Wednesday this time. Let's go ahead and run down the system and see exactly what numbers we're getting here. What I want you to see here is that Sweden's doing something a little funky with their numbers, okay? Which we can see right here for cases. You notice this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. This is Tuesday. They're not recording numbers on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Instead, they're adding the numbers. Okay, they're adding the numbers. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're adding those onto Tuesday. And that's a big problem because look at this. If you look at this plot, you think, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Okay, what's going on here? Our cases are spiking. Well, the trouble is, people in Sweden, your cases aren't spiking. Okay, in actual fact, the numbers are probably closer to one. These numbers are probably closer to 10,000 cases a day than they are for 20,000 cases a day because it probably didn't increase that much over here. Okay, if we use a 70 moving average to highlight what's going on with the data, you can still see a dip there, but there's only a single dip. Okay, let's look at deaths. Same thing with deaths. This number basically at this point, in my opinion, if we say this is 250 deaths, right? 250 deaths. We divide it by 3. So we say 250 divided by Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So that's 250 deaths, and we divide it by 4 days. Well, that's not right. Let's say 3 days. $250 deaths divided by 3. What in the world's going on? Okay. If we say this number here, okay, and this is here is also really, really strange. Okay, if we say this number here is say 250, that means for 3 days you actually only average 38 cases per day. Well, in actual fact, I mean, we need to look at this number here. All right. Okay. This is probably the holidays, Christmas and New Year's. This is yesterday. You know what this is? This is yesterday's numbers. So this is saying for January 5th, there was over 250 deaths. Cases. Okay. So this is deaths for the period ending December 1st. Okay, so this is where are we here? We're back over here. We're over here now. Over 250 deaths yesterday. Okay. Well, the trouble is, unless we had this date here, which is 200 deaths, but this here, which is 100, and that's the number went from 100 to 200 in a couple days. The problem is, it's really kind of hard to understand what's really going on with the data here. Basically, we'd have to take this number divided by 3. That would give us the average number of deaths for that 4-day period, for the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday dates. Okay? Is it possible this jump from 100 to 200? It's possible. This number here is the Tuesday total for this week. Over 250 deaths, which is too much. Maybe 100, maybe 200 here, but 100 here. Because you see the dates here, but you see that these dates did increase. There was a spike here, but here the numbers went back down again. Because simply put, these numbers really aren't that useful, in my opinion. We have to look at something a little better, like a 7-day, like a 14-day moving average, okay, or like a 7-day moving average. Okay, so you can see here, this is the actual plot. All we can tell from this plot is the numbers are going up. We really have no idea what the cases actually are. But over here, this is a 7-day moving average. It gives us a little better picture of what's going on. Okay. So any one of these columns here are represent an average of the previous 7 days. Let's just try. Do I have? Let's just come down here and do this. Okay, let's come back over here now. Now we can look, let's zoom in on this peak right here. Now is this starting to look familiar? Zoom in here. So for December 1st, for the 7-day period ending January 1st, 2021, there was Sweden had 5,887 cases. Okay, again, this is the average for the previous 7 days. All right. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's look at this now. So once again, what's the current number? For the 7-day period ending January 1st, Sweden averaged 71.5 deaths, not 200 deaths. Okay, you can see down here, the problem here is you had, I think, probably a couple holidays. You had Christmas and New Year's in there. If we zoom in here, can we actually see the missing dates? No. All right. So where does this leave us as far as cases? Unfortunately, I would have to put my money. The more interesting is that means the April spike was higher than the current spike once we get to the underlying trend. I'll just mention this is what's called a moving average. Is a very common stock market analysis tool. It's very common to use some type of moving average in stock market analysis. So therefore, so I would say, at this point, again, continue to watch this. Continue to watch my report here. Okay, it's very important. It's very important because I have no political bias. I have no stake in these numbers in Sweden. Okay. I don't know about in Sweden, but in the U.S., you can't trust the U.S. news media to tell you the truth about the numbers. Okay, that's just unfortunately that's just the way it is in America. And you can't trust the Democrats to tell you the truth about the COVID-19 either. All right, I don't know about Sweden, but now a second way, a better way of looking at your numbers is by weekly numbers. Okay, this is much more helpful actually. You can see here that your cases are well above, way above April's high, April and May's high. If we come over here and we look at weekly deaths, look at this. Look at the difference. The single week high, okay, was only about maybe 500 deaths for a single week. This is the current weeks. Look at this. This is still lower than this here. So again, this is why you have to be careful whenever you look at numbers. All right. Just to make sure you understand, this number here is a total number of deaths in the period that began on Sunday of this week, or Sunday, and then on Saturday. The weeks run on Sunday and then on Saturday. And again, by doing weekly totals, we kind of cut through that malarkey of not recording numbers on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But again, look at these weekly numbers. These deaths here, while are not good, are not as bad as these numbers over here. Okay, and these numbers now appear to be declining a little bit. So now let's take a look at monthly numbers. Obviously, the monthly numbers aren't particularly good because you can see that December was the worst month so far for cases. And we can see that deaths in Sweden at 2,000 are the second most deaths for a single month. Now we're going to compare the numbers. Okay. So we're comparing numbers. We're comparing numbers with countries in the EU that have between 9 and 12 million cases. We're doing a plot the countries that have a population between 9 and 12 million people in these countries, and Sweden falls within this range here. And these are the countries: Belgium, Czechia, Greece, Sweden, Hungary, and Austria. Okay. You come down here and you can see that Sweden ranks second highest among these 6 countries, with close to 60,000 cases. Let's take a look at deaths now. Fortunately, Sweden is the highest total deaths by these countries. At least 6 countries with over 2,000, probably let's say about 2,500 deaths here so far. Sweden has the most deaths so far. Total cases by day. What we do here is we're breaking the information out by country. Once you notice that these X values here, or Y values here, are different for each plots. But what I want you to notice here is look at all the space underneath the curves for these countries overall. Look at all the space, all the days when you didn't have very high numbers for cases. Okay, let's take a look at deaths now. Once again, well, Sweden's total deaths is probably, what we say, Sweden's total deaths was what? The most. It must have been a big spike because but you still look at the shape and you see they had a much longer period of when the cases spiked back in these other 5 countries. And you can get the same picture here as far as deaths. Someone asked for a cumulative plot, and here they are. Okay. Now, what you see here is these are column prints. Okay. Each column represents the total number of cases or deaths from the first case up until that point here. Okay. So you see that number right there, which is about 400, say about 600,000 cases. That'll be the total number of cases to date. And that's true at any point along this line here. At any point along this line, that's going to be the total number of cases to date for that date. And you can see here now, do you remember the phrase, the buzz phrase back in the spring, flattening the curve? Well, you certainly had a large curve flattening right here. All right. And again, let's say if we follow this line, it says July up, and it comes right up here to about 5,000. That'll mean for that day in July. Let's say this is July 1st. So that means for July 1st, there would have been 5,000 total cases between here and say July 1st to be 5,000 total cases. All right. Right? But I also don't place too much emphasis on these plots. And the reason I say that is because these plots can only do one or two things. They can go up, they can flatten. You know, according to Wush University, daily deaths are the single best measure of the spread of a pandemic. So don't be led astray by cumulative numbers or talk about hospital beds or anything like that. Don't be led astray. Come back up here and look at the weekly plots and the daily plots. This is how you're going to know what's really going on at any single moment, on any day in Sweden as far as COVID-19. What's this? I don't know what this one here does. Okay. This is a plot of cumulative cases by country. Once you notice how basically they're all shaped the same. Look at this. This comes over here and that climbs. This climbs right at the same point. All these plots and cases tend to start climbing at the same point. Okay? But again, cumulative plots really don't tell you that much. Same thing with deaths, okay? Cumulative plots of deaths. They focus on the daily cases and even more importantly on the daily deaths to see what's really going on. Okay? That's going to give us the most information. Daily cases and daily deaths. Okay, thanks so much for your time today. I hope you found our support helpful in Sweden. If you do, be sure to share it with your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, and also share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram accounts also, all right? Thanks so much for your time. We'll catch you later on.